This is the Uptick Network Stock Day podcast, sponsored by InvestorsHangout.com. Penny stock news and interviews from the microcap world. Public information on OTC, pink sheets, and microcap stocks from around the world. With your host, Everett Jolly.
On today's show, we have a very exciting guest with us. His name is Laurence Wainer. He is the CEO of Blow Drive Interlock Corp, trading under the ticker symbol BDIC. Blow Drive Interlock Corp is based in Los Angeles, California. It's a publicly traded company that distributes and leases ignition interlock devices. And so, Laurence, welcome, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Everett.
Hey, give me a little bit of a background of yourself and how you got involved in Blow Drive Interlock Corp.
Well, I got involved with Blow Drive Interlock Corporation back about 5 years ago when I was looking to get into the criminal offender monitoring business. And basically went to China, started looking on how to manufacture a machine and what the NHTSA guidelines were to get one of these on the market. It took years and years to develop the unit, but we finally developed it, and we're actively installing them and are approved in several states to do criminal offender monitoring of all types for people on parole, people for home-based offenders, for auto vehicle monitoring, just different criminal offenders of all types.
You know, I've been following BDIC since day one, and I really want to congratulate you and your company. I see your recent filings. You guys generated about $100,000 in revenue in the first 6 months of operation. How are sales coming along since then?
Sales have been absolutely amazing. I mean, we have not been able to keep up with the manufacturing. It's one of the problems we are facing is keeping up with the sales. We have the only wireless device on the market, and what that really means to the consumer is when they don't have to go in and calibrate their device every month. Most criminal offenders every 30 days or 60 days, depending on the state they're in, have to go into the service center or go visit the probation officer or whatever it might be to get their monitoring device calibrated. Because we have a wireless device, we can offer our customers mail-in calibration. As far as I know, we're the only company in the market to be able to do that. There are only about 10 or 12 manufacturers in the whole United States that are in this type of industry that are sanctioned by the conforming products list, by the federal government's conforming products list to be in this industry. And of those 10 or 12 manufacturers, we're the only one to offer mail-in calibration services. So they no longer have to think about making an appointment, coming in, spending a whole day there, and doing that every month for, a year or 2 or 10 years worth of monitoring that they may be sanctioned for. So now they no longer need to think about it. It just shows up at their house every 30 days. They replace the new one with the old one, and it's a mail-in system because we have a wireless device. So sales have been, unfortunately or fortunately, again, we're in the criminal offender monitoring business. Sales have been amazing and been very difficult for us to keep up with the demand. And every time we get approved by a new state, we have additional demand.
How many states are you guys currently in right now?
We're currently approved in 9 states, and our BDI 747 is available in all 9 states. California, Oregon, Arizona, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas. So we have service centers close to 100 service centers where somebody can go in and get their unit installed, removed, or serviced.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So I live in Arizona, and let's say that recently I became an offender. Take me through the process. How do I actually get one of your devices installed in my car? Take me through the process of that.
Well, in Arizona, you'd only have 6 choices. So basically, the judge would say to you, all right, Mr. Jolly, instead of incarceration, we're going to allow you to be released, but under certain conditions, which may include either home or vehicle monitoring for your GPS location, alcohol detection, that type of thing. So he would sanction you to contact one of the 6 providers in Arizona that are court-sanctioned to do that for you, of which we are one of them. And then those are your only 6 choices. You can't go to eBay or Craigslist to
Right.
get one of these things.
Right.
You have to go to one of these 6 state-sanctioned providers, because we report that data to the judge or to the administrative division, who's ever sanctioned you, on your GPS location, your alcohol, what alcohol intake has been, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be the process. He basically hands you a piece of paper that's got 6 names on it, and you better pick one of them. Otherwise, it's back to the can.
Right. My guest today is Laurence Wainer. He is the CEO of Blow Drive Interlock Corp. Their ticker symbol is BDIC. Now, I noticed from your last press release that the New York State Division of Criminal Justice has invited BDIC to service criminal offenders throughout the New York area. How did this invitation come about?
Yeah, really interesting. New York has limited their provider list to 4 manufacturers, and it's been a very stable list for many years in a pretty nice big market. Obviously, very populated market.
Absolutely.
And one of the 4 got suspended. They'll remain nameless for the purpose of this conversation, but you can do your own research. And they got suspended. I'm not sure as to why, or I've had trouble finding out exactly why. Then we got a phone call from the New York Department of Criminal Justice, and they asked us if they would like us to apply for that spot there and take that position. They gave us a deadline of May 25th with a 160-page application that we've been burning the midnight oil on here the last few days, and basically have it ready to go out. We have completed it, and we just need to get it notarized today, and I have it here in an envelope, and I'm ready to send it out. Like I said, burning the midnight oil here the last 4 or 5 days on getting this application complete. It's 160 pages. It's one of those things that you just have to sit down and do, and I've got it ready to go out, and like I said, I'm hoping to mail that out today, and I believe that we'll get approved in the state of New York. It wasn't something that I was expecting or something that I was trying to do, but figured it's an amazing opportunity for our young company, and I couldn't pass it up. So obviously I said yes, and have spent the last the week here getting this application completed and everything I need to do. And should we get approved, I fully expect that we will meet the state of New York's expectations for quality.
That being said, what kind of revenues are we looking at for 2016 to 2017 just from the New York market?
Well, if you get approved into the New York market, you're looking at a market of around $5 million a year that's being, basically separated amongst 4 providers with a 3-year contract. So, assuming we get our fair share of that market, you're looking at $1 to $2 million a year.
Absolutely.
Once we're able to fully penetrate. Now, it doesn't happen overnight, obviously. It takes time for criminal offenders to work their way through the system, and slowly as the months go, you start to build, because you are only putting them on. You're never taking them off for 12 months at least. Typically, 2-3 years. It's just mainly putting them on before anybody really gets off of their probation or parole or whatever their sanction might be. So you build up over time, and it takes time to attain that share of the market. It doesn't happen overnight, but I anticipate, with anywhere within 2 to 5 years that we will be able to capture our fair share of that market.
My guest today has been Laurence Wainer. He is the CEO of Blow Drive Interlock Corp. They are a breath alcohol testing device company. The ticker symbol is BDIC. Let me ask you this, Laurence. What makes your product so great, and why is it outselling the competition?
Well, number one key feature, like I said, to the person who's going to call and has to need one of these, or is in the unfortunate circumstances to where they need one of these devices, is the wireless feature of it, is the mail-in calibration feature of it. There are other functions of it that make it better, but from the consumer's point of view, just that ability to avoid going into a service center or into a state location every single 30 days where it's their responsibility to make that phone call, set that appointment, be there on time, spend the 3 hours there while they wait for everybody else to go in front of them. When we inform them that they don't have to do that, if they choose us instead of the other 3 providers they may have a choice of, or 5 providers they may have a choice of, we have an older technology that's not wireless, where they would no longer have to do that every 30 days. It's a huge burden off their shoulders. So I believe that's what's allowing us to capture a very, very high percentage of the phone calls that we receive off of these state-sanctioned lists, which is, where 90% of our market is captured from.
Exactly.
So I believe that's their number one feature, and there are other features. They're much easier to use. It has touch screen. We're able to communicate with it from where we're at, which gives us the ability to not leave them stranded and be able to service the unit remotely from where we're at with certain codes that we can punch in.
Our guest today is Blow Drive Interlock Corp, Laurence Wainer. He's the CEO, ticker symbol BDIC. In closing, Laurence, is there anything that you and I didn't get a chance to touch upon that you would like to get out to my listeners?
Well, I think that your listeners would be interested to know that, we are a revenue-generating company. We are a young company, and if you look at the competition that we are up against, these are privately held companies that are worth, over hundreds of millions of dollars, and are sanctioned in all 50 states for most of them, and have tens of thousands of these units on the road. So, if they watch us for the next 2 to 3, 4 years, I believe we'll have 30, 40, 50,000 criminal offenders under our belt, so to speak, and collecting monthly monitoring revenues of approximately $100 a month per individual offender. And I think they'll see rapid growth as we expand nationwide and capture the attention of authorities in all 50 states to allow us to service their offender program in those states.
Blow Drive Interlock Corp has been our guest today. They trade under the ticker symbol BDIC. Laurence, thank you very much for coming on the show. We're going to check back with you in a couple of months to see how things are going. And again, thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Everett, and hope to talk to you soon.